You are listening to the audiobook Veilshatter, Legends of Elyndar, now available on Amazon, Audible, and wherever books are sold. Featuring our three unforgettable heroes, an epic adventure begins.
Trial by Sky Ring. Veyran's feet found uncertain purchase on the slick quartz of the Sky Ring's council terrace. The rain had thinned to a needle-fine drizzle, but water still bled down the carved skyline, over balustrades shaped to evoke the wings of vanished elders, down spires where memory storms had scorched the ruins a generation prior. Steam rose from the tiles, a breath like ghosts sighing off the heights, as above, broken sunlight struggled through the ragged aftermath. Windrest's highest quarter, battered but unbowed, sprawled far below, its bridges a latticework of worry and half-repaired hope. Torchbearers lined the arc, muted flames guttering in the wind. The Sky Ring's banners, embroidered with the old triple whirl of joined winds, hung limp in the sullen air. Each of the council's 13 seats was occupied now, rain-matted faces lit with tension and veiled accusation. Their cloaks, storm blue and sky silver, pooled at their feet. Runes emboldened every hem. Most eyes, wetted by sleepless worry, tracked Veyran's approach as if he were already something less than kin. Aruun Keln stood at the arc's zenith, expression grim beneath his sky elf brow. Lightning scars silvered his cheek, catching what little light the storm allowed. His mouth was set, calculating, hands clasped tight at the ends of his weatherbinder's rod, a length of petrified skyroot, veined with runic inlay that glimmered faintly with residual power. Droplets beaded on his ceremonial armor, casting fractured halos as he beckoned Veyran forward. Veyran Arctelos, Aruun proclaimed, voice echoing, woven with authority and the snap of tempests. By the right of charge, we call this Sky Ring to hear. Oaths broken, traditions threatened. Stand and answer what you've brought upon us. Veyran's breath stuttered, chest tight with exhaustion, and the sting where the storm had bitten deepest. His rod, a battered thing, its binding stones already dim, hung at his wrist, nearly too heavy to lift, thumb pressed hard against the sigil for truth-speaking. His head throbbed with phantom thunder, the aftershocks of power spent beyond safety, but he straightened and forced his gaze up. I stand. Name the charge. Plain words. Old patterns drilled into every weatherbinder's marrow. Behind his composure, Zephrason's absence howled, a yearning ache at the edge of shape, the echo of a bond threatened by every watching eye, a stir among the counselors. Nira Solend, silver-haired, concern creasing lines into her brow, leaned forward. This city stands because of your strength, Arctelos. Yet the storm just past was no act of willful weather. Its touch, uncanny. Runes rebelled when you touched the wind. Speak. What force did you call, that our protections twisted out of line? Murmurs eddied behind her. Fear stalked the words, and something like envy. Windrest had always trusted in the lineage of the weatherbinders, but old schisms ran deep. Secrets hoarded in high towers, grudges passed through generations like heirlooms with barbed edges. I called nothing outside the old bounds, Veyran replied. He scanned the faces, reading the currents of faith and suspicion. The rogue magic came from beyond our archipelago. I sheltered you with every pattern I knew. My will was the city's last anchor. And yet, Aruun cut across, eyes narrowing, we saw sigils on your palm burning with the indigo of soul weaving. I saw your lips shaping word-binding none now dare, incantations that woke the storm's memory, not merely its body. You've gone too far. The bond between binder and sky is sacred. We protect it for all Uthira. But you, he jabbed that staff toward Veyran, a pent tension in his shoulders, consort with storm spirits, talent taken by Zephrasson. Is that not forbidden by the oath you spoke under Dawn's breath on your ascension? clouds smothered the weak sun. Something in the air, electric, jagged, reminded Veyran of the very moment the world had opened beneath him hours ago, and he forced himself to hold still. His hands twitched with the urge to summon Zephyrson's comforting wind, but he dared not, even the temptation now a weapon for his foes. "I sought aid where the guide winds faltered," he said, careful, voice low as thunder behind a mountain. "Zephyrson's counsel gave us warning of this attack. Avestra threatened, Windrest's wards warped. Would you have me turn away, let the city drown on the altar of your pride?" The chamber rippled with unease. A far-off bell tolled the hour, thin with distance, marking out lives below, struggling to measure hope against what had nearly come. Water dripped from the ceiling, its rhythm steady, as if in judgment. Across the circle, Elder Madden, the oldest among them, beard braided with filigreed windstones from 3 epochs past, spoke, voice cracked but still resonant. "The first oath binds us, Arctelos. No weatherbinder may barter will or weather with wild spirits. Spirits are children of the schism, creatures of disaster. What you dare, you risk for us all. And yet," Veyran managed, "the spirits crossed the veil before even language took root. They are not all ruin. Their warning saved us." A lean woman at Aruun's left, Ostrajarok, shook her head. "None question your devotion, but oaths are not garments to be worn only in convenience. You rose on the faith of the sky ring. If you step beyond the bounds, storm's curse will not fall on just one tower. Blood remembers treachery. The night of mawing mirrors taught us what comes of prideful tampering. Did you learn nothing?" The chill at Veyran's back deepened. It was no longer mere exhaustion or pain. It was the knowledge that the patterns binding these people together, the lines that had steered Uthira since the sundering, were beginning to fray. He watched old friends avert their eyes, recalling childhood festivals, and the hour they'd all spoken, the oath of the elements, with salt and sky-glass pressed to their lips. Aruun advanced a step, the rod's gem flinging lances of cold blue along the carved circle. "You call what you do mercy, but to break with tradition on mercy's word endangers every soul Windrest shelters. Today a storm relents. Tomorrow 1,000 fall, lost to power ungoverned. If the council finds you wanting, the law of Sunders bids you stripped of rod and rank. Banished. Will you answer, truly, to all of us, with nothing held back?" Thunder seemed to gather in Veyran's throat, stuck behind a door he did not know how to open. He glanced at his rod, feeling the deadened ache where too much magic had passed, the way his soul felt scoured and rimed with frost. In the corners of his vision, a shimmer. Maybe Zephyrson, maybe only memory. He wanted to rage, to protest that there had been no other way, but the words calcified on his tongue. He drew a measured breath and let silence reign for a heartbeat, searching the lines etched in the counselors' faces. "If you cast me out," he said, deliberate, "you do so with the knowledge that the world shifts. That what we call safe, ancient, may be neither. The threat is not my bond, nor Zephyrson's warnings, but the shadow that moves beneath runes unchecked and names unspoken. We stand on the brink. I would rather shatter oaths than see Windrest become another city lost to memory storms and curse fire." His voice rang out, cold with the knowledge that hope had become a negotiation he might soon lose. The counselors leaned together in low conference, their voices carried on the wind, names and grievances flitting like birds above a market before a thunderclap. Glances darted between Aruun and the oldest among them. Some faces softened, remembering what Veyran had saved. Others hardened, determined to see him as a threat more than a protector. Aruun's eyes never left Veyran. There was pain in the stare and a memory of younger days, shared storms, victories against the sky's wrath, old promises sundered by change. His grip on the rod whitened. "You would set yourself above the sky ring," he said, voice scalding. "There is no fate for a weatherbinder who will not trust in kin." "I trust Windrest with my life," Veyran answered. But fate is not a river. It will not be bound, not even by us. He saw the break as it happened. A tremor in the sky ring's unity, the subtle fracture of tradition's hold. Some counselors leaned back, resigned. Others, like Ostra and Madden, radiated wounded pride. The echoes of the council's power stuttered uncertainly, as if the city itself awaited their verdict before settling its own stormy heart. From somewhere far below, through the open arches, a chorus rose. Windrest's folk singing the old lullaby for safety after a night of peril. The sound bled upward, a thread of warmth against the chill ache inside Veyran's chest. "The choice is not yours alone," Madden rasped, voice finally sad. "A trial is called, by Skyring and Rune. Speak now your full intentions, Arctelos. What future do you invoke for Windrest, for all bound to the storm?" A moment poised between past and future, Veyran's will and exhaustion, tradition and the raw wound of the present. He drew himself up, aching in every muscle, the last of his authority summoned to the surface. "I would see us open our borders," he answered. "Join with Avestra. Send scouts, call for mages, and spirit council where needed. No more isolation, no more fearful decrees. The storm that nearly broke us tonight will break 100 cities if we stay silent. I will not turn from those who would be our allies, no matter their power's nature. To bar Zephrason's warnings is to walk gladly into night. Gasps, raised voices, a hand slammed to a staff, discord rippling out, potent as any spell. The unity of the sky ring dissolved, arguments leaping like snapped electrical arcs, old wounds reopened for every counselor to see. Veyran's heart stilled with the knowledge. He had torn the old fabric and found nothing soft beneath. Above, wind rattled the banners fiercely. Somewhere within, the first tendrils of new storm threaded through the clouds, a promise that the weather remained as restless as the hearts below. Aruun approached, face shadowed, voice lowered so only Veyran could hear. "You choose danger over kin. When next we stand beneath the open sky, we do so as rivals. May our storms not destroy more than they save." Veyran met the stare, pain for what might have been splintering with the loss. "If I must be outcast to do what's right, I welcome exile." He turned, feeling all eyes, hopeful, hateful, hungry for certainty, rake across his retreating back. His limbs trembled with fatigue, spirit hollowed by loss, and the weight of inevitable consequence. As the sky ring descended into bitter argument, he left the circle, shadows stretching before him like the path to Avestra itself. Every step echoed with the cost of divided loyalty. In the tower below, Zephrason's presence stirred, haunted, uncertain, waiting for a choice neither mortal nor spirit could face alone. The wind outside rose again, urgent, carrying with it the uneasy promise that whatever came next, from memory, from shadow, or from a friend now remade into an adversary, would demand sacrifice far greater than even this night's storm.